quick what this looks like. You open up the form. This top part will just be your email. Right down here, it'll say enter your voting code. So you can copy and paste your voting code right there, and then just put that you are present. So I'm going to stop the screen share now because I don't want anyone to see my voting code. And I'm going to go ahead and throw mine in there because I also need to get credentialed.
We can still see your screen.
Oh, no. Okay, there. Good. No one saw that voting code. I didn't get to it yet.
Yeah, no, you're good to go.
Okay. So throw in your voting code and throw in present. If you are having a hard time finding your voting code, first go check your spam folder and your junk mail. You should see an email whose title is voting code for June 43rd District Democrats endorsement meeting. If you still cannot find it there, then please email Tally at 43rddemocrats.org and we will work with you to get that voting code. Yes, Tina. Tina, do you have a question? Oh, can't unmute. Let me see if I can unmute you. Should be able to unmute someone, right?
Thank you. That worked. I just wondered, I was switching from my phone to my iPad and missed the instructions on how to do how to get to the part where you can enter your voting code. So could you repeat yourself pretty please?
Yes, happy to. So I'll copy it into the chat again as well. So there's a form in the chat. There's a link that says please sign in into the meeting using your voting code here. You'll just click on that forms link and then you'll just enter your voting code and put that you are present. Okay. I'm gonna check real quick. Okay. Liam, can I get confirmation that we have a quorum credentialed?
Ryan?
Yeah.
It appears that we might be capped at 100 participants for the Zoom meeting, and some folks are having trouble getting in. I saw that from Vivian in the chat.
Okay. Let me go into our... I don't think we've had this issue before.
We had it at a previous endorsements meeting and we upgraded our Zoom account. And I assumed it was still upgraded, but if not, we can quickly do so.
Okay, let's work on doing that real quick. Thank you for noting that. This is a great time for everyone to double check in. Let's see.
I also wanted to flag for you, Ryan. Haven't touched on the meeting minutes for the last one and the agenda yet.
Yeah, we have to get everyone credentialed before we can do those two.
Cool.
Okay, let's see. Liam, would you... No, Liam's already doing those things.
Confirming that, yes, we do definitely have quorum.
Okay, perfect. Liam, would you be able to go into the Zoom and get us the upgrade our room size?
On my way.
Okay, perfect. While you're doing that, we're going to start, we'll do a couple of quick things, and then we'll make sure that we've got everyone in here before we start doing any votes or endorsements or things like that. Okay. Let me pull up our normal slides to welcome everyone. Do a quick screen share, and I'm going to pass it over. Emily, I can do the screen share if you are ready to go.
Yeah, that sounds good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful.
There we go. Okay.
All right, everyone. Thanks for being here with us this evening. I'm just going to go over our land acknowledgement and some of our meeting norms really quickly. Although we are joining all virtually tonight, we'd like to start this event acknowledging that we are on the traditional tribal land of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish people, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. And if you would like to learn more about whose land you occupy or have occupied, you can visit native-land.ca. So for our meeting norms, please treat everyone with dignity and respect. If you don't know, please ask or raise your hand and we'll make sure to answer whatever questions. And please be aware of when to step up and when to step back, especially tonight when we have so many folks joining us. And please remember that everyone here is volunteering their time today and excited to be here. And together we share the responsibility for staying on time. This is even more important this evening with such a packed agenda. So we'll do our best to try staying on time, but y'all can help us with that as well. So if you'd like to seek the floor for any reason, please raise your hand by selecting the raise hand button, which is in your React tab on Zoom. Our chair, Ryan, will recognize people as they appear on Zoom. And once you've spoken, please lower your hand. If you are joining from a phone tonight, you can press *9. If Ryan needs to take a quick poll of the membership, they may ask you to choose yes or no reaction. And then also just a side note for voting, the links will be in the chat too. So please keep an eye on your chat throughout the meeting so that you can follow along and vote for the endorsements. And when we do vote, the chat will be disabled, but you can still message us as hosts. So please don't be afraid to do that if you need any help, or of course you can raise your hand. And if you need any help with your voting code, please email tally@43rddemocrats.org. We want to make sure that everyone has a voting code and is able to participate this evening. And we will be streaming to YouTube tonight. We do follow Robert's Rules of Order. So it's a set of parliamentary procedures that we use to run the meetings. You don't need to know every detail of it to participate. Like I said before, you can contribute by raising your hand and we can go from there with any requests for motions. Most motions are pretty simple and they start with I move that we, and then perhaps it's approve, amend, postpone, and then whatever it is. And you have the right to participate as a full member in our meetings. And if you need us to slow down and explain what's going on, please don't hesitate to ask. And if you are just the very best at Robert's Rules of Robert's Rule orders, you please use those powers for good and consider the impact when making a complicated motion because, as I said before, we all have a responsibility to have this meeting and on time. And so just keep that in mind. And some of the most common Robert's rules to know are point of order when, and that could be when you think that we're not following the rules or a rule is broken. Point of information used to ask a relevant question to a topic we're discussing. And point of privilege used if you need to make any adjustments so you can participate. For example, if you can't hear someone, or if you can't access something, or if you need more time to finish your vote, please don't hesitate to raise a point of privilege. Alrighty, thanks everyone. Ryan, you're on mute.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. So we've expanded the room. Looks like we have 124 people, which is excellent. Again, in the chat, you'll note that there is a link to credential yourself. So for those people who just joined us, and we'll throw it in the link in the chat again, please use the link and your voting code to credential yourself and sign in for our meeting. And if you are still working on the voting code, thank you for those of you who have emailed tally@43rddemocrats.org. We're working through those as quickly as we can. And sorry about that. Cool. And so we will not take any votes until we make sure that everyone has got their voting code. With that said, I'm going to start moving us through the agenda. So the first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. So I will place the link for the agenda in the chat. And this would be the point where if anyone has any motions to amend the agenda, they would put those forward.
Yeah, I had a motion to add a resolution to the agenda.
Okay, so Jacob is putting forward a motion to amend the agenda to add consideration of a resolution. I'm going to throw the link to that resolution in the chat. Jacob, could you tell us a little, just very briefly, about this resolution and why it's timely and would need to be added on to our to this agenda?
Yeah, so one of our members, Sarah, brought us this resolution in support of the proposed crisis care center at the former polyclinic site, which is in our district at 1145 Broadway. This is timely because our city and county electeds are currently assessing whether it is worth pushing through the opposition they're hearing from businesses in the area. So a positive message from the 43rd now could make a difference, and our next opportunity to pass a resolution in September would be way less effective.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jacob. And I see a second for the motion. So to add a resolution onto the agenda that was not sent out 10 days before, it takes a 2/3 vote of the members. However, I would entertain a motion for us to approve this motion by unanimous consent. Unanimous consent does not mean that everyone necessarily agrees. It means that we all kind of agree that if we were to vote, this would probably pass. And so we declare unanimous consent and then would consider adding, consider this resolution on the back end after all of our endorsements. Yeah, Natalie. If we can unmute Natalie.
Okay.
Oh, nope. And then try again. Oh, let's see. Can we? Oh,
okay, can you guys hear me? Okay,
yes,
all right. I'm sorry, I had a point of order / information. Do we need to suspend the rules to be able to do that before taking the unanimous consent for it?
Do we need to suspend the rules to?
Yes. Do we need to vote to suspend the rules to allow for unanimous consent versus the 2/3 vote?
I don't. Oh, that's a good question. Let me confer with.
To doing so, but I think parliamentary wise, that may need to happen because it is a rule suspension that to allow for the unanimous consent to be placed at the end versus having the 2/3 vote. Thank you.
Yes, let me confer with my parliamentarian real quick. Okay. I think it's a little fuzzy, but what I am seeing is we can also suspend the rules on unanimous consent. So we can just do a series of 2 unanimous consents. The first motion will be to suspend the rules to allow for a unanimous consent to consider the endorsement. Moved by Justin.
Second.
And seconded by Jacob. So for unanimous consent, we don't necessarily vote. We'll just, if it's got to be unanimous. So if there's anyone who objects to us suspending the rules to do a unanimous consent motion to add the agenda, add the resolution to the end of the agenda, please indicate so now. And Natalie, is your hand up to, if your hand is still up because you want to object, let me know or throw it in the chat or. Okay, so are there any objections to suspending the rules to allow for unanimous consent to add the resolution to the agenda? Any objections? Any objections? Okay, the rules are suspended to allow for unanimous consent motion around the adding of the resolution to the agenda. That has already been moved and seconded. So we are now just going to ask for unanimous consent to add the resolution to the end of the agenda. Any objections? Any objections? Oh, Linda. Oh, there you go.
I had a hard time finding the link to join, so I don't even know what the topic is.
Gotcha. Let me throw it into the chat. So there was a motion to add onto the agenda consideration of a resolution in support of the proposed crisis care center at 1145 Broadway. I just threw the link in the chat. Jacob shared that this is a timely motion as action around the approval or rejection of the site location is going to be happening in the next few weeks. But because the resolution was not finished 10 days before we made the announcement about this meeting, it needs to be added to the agenda. And so this is just a, this unanimous consent will just add consideration of this resolution to the end of the agenda after we do all of the endorsements.
I withdraw my objection.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Okay. Any objections to the unanimous consent motion? Any objections? Any objections? Okay, we will add consideration of the resolution to the agenda after we have done all of our endorsement votes. With that, I would then entertain a motion to approve our agenda for the evening. Can someone please motion that? Because I can't.
Moved.
Thank you, Jacob. Can I get a second? I'll take Justin as a second. Any objections to approval of the agenda? Any objections? Any objections? Okay, the agenda for the evening is approved. Next up, we have our minutes for our April 2025 meeting. Okay, these are the minutes. I would entertain a motion to approve these minutes through unanimous consent.
I move.
Moved by Justin, seconded by Jacob and Linda. Any objections? Any objections? Any objections? Okay, with that, our minutes are approved. Okay, I'm gonna move a little quick so that we can catch up. Just a couple of quick things from the chair. First off, thank you to everyone who attended Ballots in Bubbly. We had over 90 people show up. We had 20 candidates. We raised over $5,000. It was the return of this event after a hiatus of many years. And so thank you to all of our board members who made it happen, especially Derek for locking down our location and our food, for Liam for doing all the tech stuff so that people could pay for their tickets, Justin for all of our beautiful graphics, and for all of our board members who were there volunteering to make it happen. And thank you to all of you for showing up and making this a big event. We're looking forward to keeping this event going in future years. So Ballots in Bubbly is back, and we're excited to bring that tradition back. Next up, on June 29th, the King County Democrats are going to be marching in the Pride Parade, and every one is welcome to join. I will be there. with yelling at people to keep moving, and as much rainbow stuff as I can put on myself. And if anyone else would like to join, there's a link that I just threw into the chat. Please come and join us. We don't have the exact time of when we're going to get lined up yet, but as soon as I have that information, I'll share it with everyone. It's a great opportunity to participate in the Pride Parade and then hang out down at the Seattle Center afterwards. And then finally, just a note that we are aiming for our July general meeting for the 43rd Democrats to be hybrid. We're still landing I think we're pretty close to landing our location. It's going to be at the Seattle Central College. We will have, or at their auditorium. We're going to be in their auditorium, which will be easier for everyone to find, and hopefully should be a great venue. We're working on having some exciting programming to bring everyone in, and we will have more details on that as they all get confirmed. We just want to put on everyone's radar. July, we will be aiming for a hybrid meeting, so you can still join remotely, but we'll have an in-person option as well. Okay. Next up is, what everyone's been here for, endorsements. So I'm going to do a quick screen share and walk through our endorsement rules so everyone is on the same page. So for our endorsement meeting, the people that can vote, in order to vote, you must be a member of the 43rd or a PCO. If you are a new member to the 43rd, you had to join 10 days ago. And if you are a returning member, that means you were a member in 2024, then you could have purchased your membership today, and you would have gotten your voting code. All of our members should have a voting code. You will need a voting code. It was sent in an email yesterday, and hopefully at this point everyone has got theirs. If you still have not received your voting code, please email tally@43rddemocrats.org, and we will make sure that we get you your voting code. In order for a candidate to be nominated, so we will open up nominations by position, a candidate must have filled out the King County Democrats questionnaire to be eligible. We will open up the nominations by position, and any 43rd member or PCO can nominate a candidate. It only takes one person to nominate someone to be on the ballot, so there doesn't have to be a second for someone to get on the ballot. After nominations, we'll have candidate statements. Each candidate will get 2 minutes to speak. Candidates will speak in the order that they were nominated. There are no statements against candidates. It is just those 2 minutes. Candidates can defer any amount of their time to other speakers if they wish. So they can say, I'm going to give 30 seconds to so-and-so, and then take the rest. And as a note, candidates do get 30 seconds to respond if there is any, quote, specific negative statement or ad hominem attack clearly directed against them. We haven't had that happen since I've been here, and hopefully it won't happen tonight, but want to make sure everyone knows that that exists. Okay. Voting and endorsements. After all of our candidates for a position have spoken, we're going to open up our ballots. We do approval voting, which means you can vote for as many candidates as you like. So you can vote for all of them. You can vote for just one of them. Each candidate that receives 60% of the vote, not counting abstentions, will receive the endorsement. So no one needs to motion for a dual endorsement or anything like that. If 2 candidates reach that 60% mark, then both of them get our endorsement. If no candidate reaches 60% in the first round, then we'll do a reconsideration vote of those candidates who received at least 40% in the first round. So if, let's say, one person gets 50 and one person gets 45 and one person gets 30, we would do a reconsideration vote with the person who got 50 and the person who got 45. We only do one reconsideration vote, and there is no reconsideration vote if all of the candidates that were eligible in the first round would also be eligible in the reconsideration. And if we do not make an endorsement in a position, we'll have another endorsement meeting during our September meeting. And so we can then do an endorsement in September for any position where we land on no endorsement. That'll also be true for if the candidate we endorse does not make it through the primary, then we will hold another endorsement for that position in our September meeting. A couple of notes about voting. In addition to all of the candidates on your ballot, you'll also see 2 other options. One of them is to abstain. Abstentions do not count when we're checking if someone reached 60% of our votes. So abstention means you are sitting out of the vote. You are making it easier for people to get endorsements by saying, I'm not voting in this one. No endorsement does count for calculating our 60% vote, and you're saying that you don't want the 43rd to endorse any of these candidates. You want us to have no endorsement. So abstentions don't count, and they make it easier. no endorsement does count, and it makes it harder. A couple of notes: please do not select a candidate and select none, or select a candidate and select abstain, because that will make our computer system very unhappy. And also they kind of are counter to each other. And please do not collect both no, none, and abstain. So we have some quick graphics to show you. So this is a fake ballot about best street treatments. This top left one, where it has none and abstain, would not work. Can't do both none and abstain. This one where it's saying Sharrows and abstain also doesn't work. You can't do both a candidate and an abstention. You can just select the one candidate, like in the bottom left, or you can select multiple candidates, like in the bottom right. At the end of our endorsements, we'll have our ballot initiatives, levies, and propositions. So each one will be considered. There will be one speaker for and one speaker against each of them, and they each get 2 minutes. And there is still that 60% threshold, and there is no reconsideration vote. So when we get to, it'll be the Parks Levy and Proposition 1 around funding for a democracy voucher program. We'll have one speaker for, one speaker against, and then we'll vote. Finally, we are going to have a slate. So the board can create what's called a slate of candidates that we are all voted on together. For this election, the board is only submitting a slate to you all that includes previously endorsed candidates that have no one running against them. In this case, it's just our 3 port commissioners. No one's running against them. We've endorsed them in the past, and so we'll consider them as a group. However, you may move to remove one of those candidates from the slate, and we can consider them individually if you would like to do so. Okay. So those are our rules around the endorsement process. Does anyone have any questions about endorsements before we move forward? Okay. So with that, we next need to adopt our endorsement rules, and we will use this as these can be approved through unanimous consent. So our endorsement rules, hopefully you got a chance to skim through these before, but these essentially say what I just laid out. So I would entertain a motion to adopt our endorsement rules through unanimous consent.
I move.
Justin moved. Jacob has seconded. Any objections to adopting our endorsement rules by unanimous consent?
And in case anyone has any questions, these are the same rules we've used for years, just so it's a smooth, just one-to-one transition.
Any objections? Any objections? Okay, our endorsement rules are adopted. So with that, the first item up for endorsement is going to be our slate. As a reminder, so this slate is candidates that the board has pulled together into one list. There are 3 candidates that are on our slate, and they are the 3 candidates for Port Commissioner. None of them have anyone who is running against them, and these are all Democrats who we have endorsed before. So this is going to be an opportunity to test out our voting codes. So as a reminder, Liam is going to throw our slate ballot into the chat. Also, for anyone who, let's see, give him just a second. Okay, so the Port of Seattle slate. So everyone can click on this form. And as a reminder, I'm going to do a quick screen share just to, I'll do it this one last time for ballots, just to make sure, since this is the first one we're using it. So you will enter your voting code right here. So you can copy and paste it from your email. And then you will choose how you would like to vote on this slate. So it'll be yes, no, or abstain. Okay, I'll stop that share. And I need to vote real quick.
Ryan, I just got a text from people that normal participants can't raise their hands, which, if they have questions, might be hard to.
Oh, good to know. Normal participants cannot raise their hands. Can we, let me see.
Linda was able to raise her hand.
Oh,
okay.
I see a hand up from Nora. Okay, Nora, were you just testing if you could raise your hand? Or do you have something?
Can someone also test requesting to unmute just to make sure that works as well?
I see Warren, I see Andy, I see Linda. Okay, love it.
Just a reminder for folks, it's in the raise hand is under the react button in your Zoom. And that react button, for me at least, looks like a heart with the word react underneath it.
Yes. And for others, it might be a little hand symbol that's right next to the react button, depending on which version of Zoom you have currently on your computer, which makes it really easy to explain to people. Tom. Oh, let's see if we can unmute Tom.
There we
There you
go. Okay, just testing.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, we will leave this ballot open for another minute or two, but while we're doing that, we're going to move on to building out our nominations list. So here's how this is going to work. And we're doing it this way to aim for efficiency. I'm going to open the floor for nominations of position. We're going to ask people to nominate people in the chat. So you can go into the chat and you can put the person's name, and that will be them being nominated. The only one person needs to nominate an individual. So once you see someone get it in there, you don't need to get it in there. If you do, not a big deal. And I will be listing them in the order they come in because that's the order in which they are going to speak. We're going to do all of our nominations, and then we're going to move into each race and hear from our candidates and vote. So we're going to start with City Council position 8. So I open the floor to nominations for City Council position 8. So in the chat, you can write who you would like to nominate. If their name isn't perfectly spelled, that is okay. I see Alexis Mercedes Rink. Connor. Oh, Connor, you can request to unmute, but we will have to unmute you. Just a heads up. And if any of our candidates, when you speak, we will promote you to co-host, and you'll have a lot more options.
Also, I sent it earlier, but I'm going to send it again. There's a list of all of our eligible candidates that I sent in the chat in case you're curious or would like to see more information. So feel free to refer to that too.
Cool. Connor, can you try raising your hand real quick? Can't see the ballots being referred to. Okay, Connor, I see your hand up, so I think we're okay. And then we'll unmute you unless do you have something you want to say right now, or are you just testing that we can unmute you?
He was testing. He
Just testing? Okay, correct. And then let's see, I can't see the ballots. Michael, the ballot, I just threw the link in the chat again. And yeah, we're just taking nominations right now. Also, let's grab for anyone who doesn't want to keep checking the chat and wants just like one place where all of the links as we start to vote are in one location, I'm going to throw a link in the chat. So all of the links for all of the ballots throughout the entire night are going to live within this Google Doc. So if you want just a one-stop shop that will put all of the links in as we go, this is the place to go. I'm gonna this is the final call for nominations for position 8. Final call. Final call. Okay, we are closing for position 8 with only Alexis Mercedes Rink having been nominated. Next up will be City Council position 9. So I'm opening nominations for City Council position 9. I see Deanne Foster. I see Connor Nash. I like this mechanism is turning it into a race for people to see who can get their names in the quickest. I'm going to give 10 more seconds for any additional nominations for position 9. Last call for nominations for position 9. Okay, closing nominations for position 9 with John Foster and Connor Nash. Okay, next up, open nominations for the city attorney, Seattle city attorney race. I see Rory O'Sullivan. I see Erica Evans. I see Nathan Rouse. Okay, Rory, Nathan, Erica.
We've got one in there
Natalie,
for
do you have a?
Davis.
Ann Davis, or is Linda? When you say Davis, do you mean Ann Davidson? Linda. First, we have a question from Natalie, and then Linda Bevis. If you could clarify when you put Davis there, do you mean Ann Davidson? That would be helpful. Oh no, okay. Good question, Rob. But Linda's saying
she
no.
did not.
Okay. Natalie, do you have a question?
Hi, I nominated Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, I must have missed
Nelson.
that. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm,
Sarah Nelson for position 9.
Yep, thanks.
Okay.
Ryan, I think that might have been in a DM to me potentially.
Gotcha. Didn't see it. Okay. Any final nominations for city attorney? Going once, going twice. Okay, closed for city attorney. Next up, nominations for Seattle mayor. I see Katie Wilson. I see Bruce Harrell. I see Rye Armstrong. I see Joe Malloy. Okay, we've got Katie Wilson, Bruce Harrell, Rye Armstrong, Joe Malloy. Paul, you have your hand up? Oh, Joe Mallahan. Okay.
Yeah, just real quick. Does everyone who is nominated need to have filled out the King County questionnaire?
Yes, in order to be considered, they have to have filled out the King County questionnaire.
And everyone considered so far has filled out the questionnaire?
I've been spot checking and I believe yes, but we'll make sure just before we.
Right.
The list I sent is only eligible people too, so you can always refer to that if you want.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, Katie Wilson, Bruce Harrell, Rye Armstrong, Joe Malloy, and Joe Mallahan. Final call for Seattle mayor nominations. Final call. Final call. Okay, closing nominations for Seattle mayor. Next up, Seattle School District. Seattle School Board District 4 position opened for nominations. Lisa Marie Rivera, Joe Mizrahi. Gloria M. Get Gloria's. Okay, cool. Andy, we'll check on the Joe Mallahan if he turned in a King County question the questionnaire. Okay. Okay. Okay, I've got Laura Marie Rivera, Joe Mizrahi, and Gloria M. Any final nominations for District 4 School Board? Going once, going twice. Okay, closing nominations for School District 4. Next up, Seattle School Board District 5 nominations. Oh yeah, Linda. Vivian. If someone can unmute Linda when they get a chance.
I don't know why my hand was up. I didn't ask for it.
No worries. Okay, no worries. I see Vivian Song. I see Janice White. I see Landon Lebowski. I'm sorry, Lebowski. Landon Lebowski. Sorry. Vivian Song, Janice White. Julissa Sanchez. Vivian. Laura Marie. Landon. Vivian. Alicia. Okay. Alicia. Okay. Okay, so for School District 5, we see Vivian Song, Janice White, Landon, Julissa Sanchez, and Alicia Whale. I've got 5 nominees. Any additional nominees? Oh, Linda, is your hand up for a nomination? Oh, okay. It's up again. Oh, Julia sent. Okay. Julia's okay. Going once, going twice. Okay, closing nominations for School District 5. Next up is School Board District 7, opening nominations for School Board District 7. I see Carol and I see Jen. Those are the only 2 people running. So I'm just going to close nominations right there because those are the only people who filled out questionnaires. Next up, King County Executive, opening nominations. I see Girmay, I see Claudia. Oh. Girmay and Claudia.
Those are our only eligible candidates. So
okay, then I will close that nomination. And so we are. Can we see? Yes, Nora. If you go to the, if you go to the. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Frederico. All the questionnaires are right there. Okay, with that, we are done with filling up our slate and all of our nominations. Thank you all. That was very efficient, and I appreciate you navigating doing that through the signals. So with that, we're going to move on to our actual endorsements. We're going to start with City Council Position 8. We have 1 nominee, Alexis Mercedes Rink. So congratulations, Alexis. Or wait, I'm sorry. We still need to do a vote. We don't, just because we have a nominee. So we're going to give Alexis 2 minutes. Let me first make her the speaker and then put the 2 minutes up. Okay, when you're ready. Oh, if you can speak. Did we have?
Okay, wonderful. Can you hear me?
Yep, when you're ready.
Okay. Fabulous. Happy Pride Month, everybody. I'm Alexis Mercedes Rink. I'm a renter and someone who takes the bus, the G line, to work every day. I went from waiting tables next to the Space Needle to working on policy at the UW Tower to now serving you on Seattle City Council, fighting for a city that works for all of us and not just the wealthy few. And in my work across communities, I've gained a reputation for bringing people together around solutions and making things happen. I got my master's degree at the UW, and I've worked across 39 cities and with over 100 different organizations on housing and health of our communities. And since joining council, I've partnered with our state delegation in pushing for new statewide progressive revenue options, successfully defended the attacks on our ethics code, which would have allowed council members to vote even if they had a financial conflict of interest. And I was the only member of council to campaign for and secure progressive revenue for union-built social housing. In times of national strife, Seattle must stand as a beacon for hope and resilience. And as we confront a MAGA regime determined to attack our rights and protect the wealthy at the expense of working people, I've spearheaded our city's fight against this fascist power grab by creating and chairing a new council committee focused on combating federal policy change. But I was brought to this work in the first place because of my upbringing. I'm proudly raised by my grandparents. I was born to teenagers who had been caught in cycles of gang violence, substance use disorder, and homelessness. But I was given the tools I needed to heal thanks to great teachers and afternoons at the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm here today as a living testament to when we invest in young people and working families, regardless of their beginnings, we can change generations. We're continuing our work on this campaign to unite Seattle. This is the campaign that Planned Parenthood trusts is going to protect reproductive health care access. This is the campaign that One America Trusts is going to fight for our immigrant neighbors. And this is the campaign that unionized healthcare workers, grocery store workers, bus drivers, and machinists trust. We're going to fight tirelessly for working families. And now I'm asking for your support again so we can fight together against the politics of fascism and build a Seattle that truly works for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. Okay. So we will now open the ballot for City Council Position 8. Throwing that into the chat. So as a reminder, click on the link, put in your voting code, and then again, if you vote abstain, it means you don't want your vote to be counted. You don't want to, and it will make it easier. If you vote none, it means you do not want the 43rd to endorse at all. You're making it harder for endorsements to happen. Rob. Don't see. Here, Rob's head went down. Derek.
Mr. Chair, as we have only one candidate,
yes.
Could we possibly consider unanimous consent for this one?
We could consider it, but we also just sent the ballots out. So
in the future, if there is only one candidate, could we ask for any objections prior to sending ballots out?
Sure, we can do that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Derek, did you have the same question? Okay, perfect. Okay, real quick, has anyone who wanted to vote on the Port of Seattle slate not had an opportunity to vote on the Port of Seattle slate? Last call for voting on the Port of Seattle slate. Okay, we are going to close the vote for the Port of Seattle slate. And then we are going to move on to our next City Council, or our next endorsement, which is going to be City Council Position 9. So the order of speakers is the order in which they were thrown into the chat. So it'll go Dion Foster, and then Connor Nash, and then Sarah Nelson. Dion, if you could raise your hand so I can find you. Oh, there you are. Okay. Let me put a spotlight on. Oh, spotlight already. Cool. Let me reset my timer.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And when you're ready.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. My name is Dion Foster, and I am so excited to be running to represent all of us on City Council. I am a mom. I am a former community organizer, former policy advisor, and nonprofit executive, and a person who's got both the lived and professional experience to get the job done. Growing up, I worked 2 jobs when I was in high school, and I helped my family pay bills. I watched my mother, who was a teacher and was formerly in the Army, work tirelessly to support our family, and then come home and struggle to make ends meet. And I went from being a teen who paid bills when our electricity got cut off to working as a policy advisor to deliver affordable utility services for families in this city. And I am really proud that I have spent my career fighting. I have fought for equity, fought for opportunity, and I have fought and delivered real outcomes. I trained students at the University of Washington at the School of Social Work as an adjunct professor, and I spent years as the executive director of Washington Progress Alliance, empowering people to take on incredibly hard fights and to win. I'm so proud of the work that we did at Progress Alliance to fight for multiple times a statewide capital gains tax, which delivered investments in childcare, early education, and schools, which is bringing real results to Seattle and communities across the state. Last year, when my opponent was working to repeal worker protections at City Hall, I was standing with workers in order to make sure that we have strong labor standards for gig workers and everyone else. I am really proud of the work that I have done for climate. I'm a board member of the Climate Solutions Board, I'm former board member of Pro-Choice Washington, and I've stood up in all of those roles and fought for our values. And I'm excited to do that on City Council because we deserve better. We deserve a Seattle that is going to be affordable for all of us. We deserve a city where we can afford to raise our families. We deserve safe streets where our kids can go out and play, and so much more. And I'm excited to fight for that on City Council. I'm proud to have the sole endorsement of Pramila Jayapal, MLK Labor, at the 32nd LD, 36th LD, 34th, and I would love to have your endorsement as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dion. Okay, next up is Connor Nash. Thank you for raising your hand, Connor, so we can spotlight you.
Okay. You can hear me, correct?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, great. And then whenever you're ready with the timer, I'm good to start.
Go for it.
Cool. My name is Connor Nash, and I'm running to be your next citywide council member in position 9. I'm a former service industry worker working in downtown Seattle. I'm a former state employee working at the Attorney General's office fighting for consumer protection, and at the Washington State Department of Health fighting for transparency in our government. And my last job was as an economist at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, bringing accurate data to the people in Seattle and all across the nation. Seattle is facing a crisis of trust with the deeply unpopular legislation passed by this council. Under Council President Nelson's leadership, social services are cut to increase the police budget. Laws are passed to criminalize our unhoused populations with no plans on how to help. Even our ethics laws were under attack, and it wasn't to help you. When you go to the council chambers to vocally oppose these terrible laws, you are dismissed and ignored. Even our elected leaders have experienced a toxic workplace, again, led by Council President Nelson. This will change if I'm lucky enough to be your council member. I'm running for city council because the problems you're experiencing have been most evident in my neighborhood. In the time I've lived in Little Saigon, I've watched a beautiful historic place become one of distress because of an out-of-control drug market caused by city neglect. Our city government decided to launch a futile war on drugs through a useless anti-drug zone, hostile architecture, and installing police cameras. The war on drugs has never worked, and this one will fail. Instead, we must increase funding for social services and public defenders while reforming our criminal justice system with a robust drug court. We must expand affordable housing to address our homelessness and affordability crises. We need community-led plans such as Little Saigon's FODEP to bring stakeholders together and address the problems in our neighborhoods, not the current top-down approach this city uses. We need a Green New Deal jobs program to boost our economy while saving our environment. We deserve a city council that listens to constituents, not ignores them. We deserve a council that passes popular legislation, not one that people vehemently oppose. I will be the council member who listens, supports, and fights for you. And visit my website, nashforseattle.com, to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. And then next up is Sarah Nelson. If Sarah is here, or a representative of Sarah Nelson, if they can raise their hand. Sarah, is Sarah? I didn't see Sarah. Oh, Natalie, are you here to speak for Sarah?
I'm not officially here on her behalf, but I did nominate her, so I'm happy to say why I chose to nominate her.
Let me check real quick. Yeah, while I'm checking something, Paul.
Yeah, do the rules allow someone to speak if the candidate doesn't ask them to speak?
You are reading my mind. I'm checking that right now.
Perfect, thank you.
It says each nominated candidate or their representative will be entitled to address the body for 2 minutes. So I think by it saying representative, it does need to be someone that was appointed.
Okay, do I get a chance to speak to my nomination?
That is not that sadly that's not how, like, we don't do statements for and against candidates. It's just the candidate themselves or someone that they have appointed.
It doesn't say someone that they have appointed. It says their representative, and I'm here to represent her position and my nomination of her. I think in the spirit of fairness, you could give me 30 seconds to speak to my nomination.
Sure. Let me check one more time. Their representative. If there are no objections to giving Natalie. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of hands raised. Okay.
I'm a duly elected PCO in this district.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, Natalie. Let me.
We have a chance to vote, and you guys will show your votes there. I think it's fair to hear why someone that is a duly elected PCO has nominated someone for this slate.
I hear you, Representative. I'm gonna make a note for us to clarify in the future what it means to be a representative. In the spirit of fairness, I'm gonna give Natalie a minute to share her perspective, and then we'll go into the ballot.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. And I understand where people are coming from with a rejection. I want to say that I am a PCO in this district. I've been a Democratic PCO for 22 of the last 24 years. And at this point, I am a single issue voter, which is housing. I have worked in a homeless shelter for 10 years. After that, I represented an affordable housing agency, and I now work in the for-market housing entity with builders. I only care about solving our housing crisis right now. That is it. The council is not perfect right now, but on housing, they are making huge improvements. We have huge broken systems in permitting, in land use, in the assessor's office in King County. This council has taken some really great steps to change that. Could the other candidates do that as well? Maybe, but I know that Sarah is the most solid in understanding the broken process and trying to make changes. Look at what happened during the comprehensive plan. We have a huge uphill battle to get more housing in this city. Sarah's been working to do that with some other members of the council. We have a long way to go. I appreciate where all of you are coming from. I share your democratic values.
Thank you, Natalie. Okay, with that, we are going to open the ballot for county, yes, county council, city council position 9. We'll throw that into the chat. I see hands raised. I'll get to those in just a second. Or actually, I need to do those before I can close the other ballot. Paul?
Hi, this is point of order. Natalie Reber was out of line. That was not the rules.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you, Paul. And I've made a note, and we will clarify what representative means in the bylaws going forward so that we don't have any ambiguity about that in the future.
I would also object to her statement that as a PCO, she should be allowed to speak.
Paul, we're not going to do statements for and like, I hear you, but like, it's noted. Nicole.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to second on Paul's comment. You know, I just, while we're talking about the definition of representative, I want to make it very clear that this updated definition that you're looking for makes it clear that it was my understanding that the rule was that a representative meant like a candidate representative or maybe a campaign representative, which it does not sound like Natalie Reber was. So thank you for your time and your patience. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. Yeah, and we'll clarify that in the future so that there isn't ambiguity. Ryan. Oh, okay, and Corey.
Yeah. I think that if a candidate is going to be asking this body for an endorsement, in the interest of representing everyone's time as a process thing going forward, we should ask that candidate to designate someone to speak ahead of time, so we don't have to ask this question and we don't have to be arguing over what representative means. Which I'm like everyone else who's spoken so far. I would assume representative is someone who has been explicitly granted permission to speak on behalf of the campaign. So, you know, let's get the candidates can figure this out ahead of time, and let's put this on them so we don't have to ask this again.
Yep, I hear you. Agreed, Corey. Thank you.
And just to finalize the point, hopefully, is in the interest of just time, this was the simplest solution, especially because in a private discussion, we weren't sure if we had allowed this exact same thing for other races where maybe a candidate wasn't there. And that's why we will clarify for the future, but the point is made.
And Liam, can you please put the ballot for position 9 in the chat? Thank you. So position 9 is now in the chat. As a reminder, you can vote for as many candidates as you would like. Liam.
Mr. Chair, I have the results of the Port Commissioner slate, if you would like those.
Yes, please.
With 86 in favor, 3 opposed, the slate is adopted.
Excellent. Thank you all. So congratulations to our 3 port commissioners. Is there anyone who would wanted to vote in the City Council Position 8 race that has not been able to vote yet? So quick raise of hands if there's anyone who hasn't voted in Position 8 that would like to. Going once, going twice. Okay, we're going to close Position 8. Position 9 will stay open as we move on to our next speeches. We are moving on to City Attorney. The order in which people were nominated is Rory O'Sullivan, Erica Evans, and Nathan Rouse. So we're going to start with Rory. Oh, I see Rory right there. Let me put my timer up. And when we get you unmuted, Rory, then you can, you probably need that. Oh, there we go. When you're ready.
All right, thank you. My name is Rory O'Sullivan, and I'm running for Seattle City Attorney. In my career, I've always looked for ways to support our community. During the foreclosure crisis, I worked at Northwest Justice Project representing homeowners facing foreclosure. When the county declared a homelessness crisis, I was serving as the managing attorney of the Housing Justice Project. And during the pandemic, I created a law firm to help unemployed folks who were struggling to receive the benefits that they'd earned. But in my spare time as an activist, I've focused on systems change. I helped create our first in the nation democracy voucher program, and I chaired the organization that passed ranked choice voting for Seattle. What I learned from these experiences is that when voters and activists come together, we can do big things. Seattle voters are hungry for change. We can create a new social housing developer. We can bring crisis care clinics to our communities, and we can run smarter elections. Seattle voters deserve leaders as courageous as they are, and I have the experience to bring about the change we need. I'll bring the Seattle Police Officers Guild to the negotiating table to ensure we pass common sense police accountability measures. I'll work with the Office of Labor Standards to fight back against wage theft, and I'll stand up to Trump. I will fight to ensure that Seattle receives the federal funding it was appropriated, and I'll stand with community partners to protect our friends and neighbors who are being persecuted by the federal government. I'm the only candidate in this race with a proven track record of passing progressive policies for Seattle and then defending those policies in court. That's why I've been endorsed by almost every Democratic organization that's endorsed so far. I've been endorsed by unions like ILWU Local 19, Seattle Dispatchers Guild, the American Federation of Teachers, and I look forward to earning your support. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rory. Next up, we will have Erica. Let me reset the timer. No, I didn't get it quick enough. Okay, well, there's some music for Erica. Okay, spotlight Erica. Get you unmuted. Okay, when you're ready, Erica.
Thank you so much. And hello, 43rd. This is my home district. It had always been my home from Capitol Hill to Eastlake. A little bit more about me. My name is Erica Evans, and I'm running to serve you as your next Seattle City Attorney. Our family's roots in fighting for civil rights run deep. My grandfather stood on an international stage at the 1968 Olympics and raised his fist to protest the racism and human indignity that was happening in our country. Growing up here in the Pacific Northwest, my family grew up poor. We moved 8 times before I was the age of 12, and it was through strong union jobs that helped my family get out of poverty and thrive. This is what led me to be a lawyer, to serve people. And I'm proud to be the only person in this race that's only worked in public service my entire career. I've also worked in this office that I'm running for, both in its criminal and civil division. I've also served as a pro tem judge in 3 different jurisdictions. Most recently, I served as a civil rights prosecutor where I held hate groups and bad officers accountable at a federal level that violated our civil rights. And I left that role because I could not stand by and just be one of Trump's lawyers. I was getting those executive orders that were a complete rollback on diversity, equity, and inclusion on our civil rights, and I refused to stand complacently. So I'm running to serve you to help create a new unit in that office, which I'm going to do. It's going to focus on anti-hate and bias, and we are going to partner with community groups to keep our community safe and hold people that commit hate crimes accountable. The Seattle City Attorney's Office has been around for 150 years and has never had a city attorney that has been held by a community member of color, ever, for 150 years. And I know that with the 43rd, if we want radical change, then we need to change that with what's possible. That position. I'm proud to have the sole endorsement of our Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown, Alexis Mercedes Rink, and Gurmai Zahalai, and 100 other elected officials, labor unions, and everyone. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Erica. Okay, and then next up is Nathan. Let's see him there. Spotlight. Get you unmuted. There we go. When you're ready.
Well, hello, everyone at the 43rd. I'm Nathan Rouse. I'm running for city attorney here in Seattle. It's such a pleasure to talk to you tonight. I'm a resident of Rainier Beach, where I've lived for the last 8 years with my wife and our 2 kids, who are 8 and 5. I'm running for this race based on my experiences as a public defender. Before becoming a public defender, I worked at a large law firm called Davis Wright Tremaine, and I worked for 2 federal judges, and I have about 7 years of federal litigation experience. And what brought me to the public defense sector was working in a pro bono case where my client, as an 18-year-old, was sentenced to 76 years in prison for being an accomplice to a shooting where the shooters got 36 years. That level of injustice blew my mind, and I worked tirelessly, and I got that case reversed by the Washington Supreme Court, and my client's now serving 20 years. What I've seen as a public defender over the last 4 years motivated me to run for this race because our system is failing our residents. It's failing not only my clients, but victims of crimes and our community writ large. We need to do more than bring back community court. We need to expand pre-filing diversion so that folks aren't going to jail just for shoplifting charges. Shoplifting gets folks deported now under the Lake and Riley Act. We need to be so careful about how we use that prosecution system. I care passionately about fighting back against wage theft because wage theft costs hardworking people in America $50 billion a year in losses. That's more than robbery, burglary, theft combined. We are failing our residents if we're not prosecuting that at a greater scale. The only difference of that crime is that it's committed by powerful people against powerless people. I care so much about these issues. I'm the candidate that's provided the most detailed platforms, writing about 5 different op-eds now detailing my policies. And I would so appreciate your support in this race. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan. Okay, at this point, we will open up the ballot for Seattle City Attorney. You should see that link in the chat. So go ahead, set is Seattle City Attorney. Yes, Rob.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I understand there's a few folks who joined the meeting late. Could one of the admins please post the link to sign in again?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Let us also get them the link to the ballots that are still open. All of them. Oh, already on top of it, unsurprising for Liam. So for people who joined late, please use this credentialing code. So sign into the meeting, put in your voting code and say that you're present. And then this second link in the chat is the document that has all of the links for all of our ballots. Since we just had a few extra people join, I'm going to keep the City Council position 9 open for a few more minutes to give those people an opportunity to vote in that. Oh wait, I'm going to vote real quick in the City Attorney before I forget. There's nothing more fun than trying to balance, like, you have to vote yourself while you're also doing all of this. It's fun. Okay. So we're going to keep position 9 open for a little bit for our new people to vote, and then we've got our city attorney open. We're now going to move on to Seattle mayor. So we have 5 candidates who were nominated. The order of their speaking will be Katie Wilson, Bruce Harrell, Roy Armstrong, Joe Malloy, and Joe Malahan. We're going to start with, Liam.
Really quick before we continue, I did just want to let you know that I have the results for City Council Position 8, if you would like those.
Please feel free to share.
Receiving 97 votes in favor and 3 opposed, Alexis Mercedes Rink is endorsed.
Congratulations, Alexis. Okay, so got Katie up next. I'm gonna keep spotlit. We'll get you muted. Let me get my little timer up. Okay, when you're ready, Katie.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Katie Wilson and I'm running for mayor. It's great to be here virtually with all of you in my home district, the 43rd. I have spent the last 14 years of my career building powerful coalitions to win major victories that benefit working families. The Orca Lift low-income fare, the highest minimum wage in the country, stronger protections for renters in 8 cities including Seattle, the jumpstart tax on wealthy corporations, and so much more. I'm running for mayor because the status quo is not good enough. We have many more people living on Seattle's streets unsheltered than we did 4 years ago, and we have lost shelter capacity every single year the current mayor has been in office. Rent keeps on climbing, and buying a home is out of reach for most families. We can do so much better on homelessness. We can do better on housing. We can do better on affordability. We can do better on public safety. And we must do better to protect Seattle communities against attacks from the Trump administration. I have spent my career fighting alongside the regular people who make our city run. And I'm not done fighting, because we deserve a mayor's office that leads with integrity and collaboration, not one distracted by scandals and lawsuits and unable to focus on tackling the big challenges our city faces. We deserve a mayor's office that is responsive, one that listens to and works with communities throughout Seattle. I'm a renter, a transit rider, and a mom. I am proud to have the sole endorsement of the King County Democrats and every single Seattle LD group that has endorsed in this race so far, the 32nd, 34th, 36th, 37th, and 46th. In less than 3 months, we have raised over $400,000, and we are the #1 leading campaign in democracy voucher collection. This shows our strong support across the city, which will only grow as I and our hundreds of volunteers connect with voters between now and primary day. We can have a true champion for working families and a coalition builder in the mayor's office. I would be honored to have your support.
Thank you, Katie. Next up is Bruce Harrell. Is Bruce Harrell or his representative present? Oh, right there. Hello, Bruce. Oh, we got to get you unmuted quick. There we go.
Okay, yeah, I've been pressing the buttons. Thank you, 43rd, for considering me for endorsement. I've been a Democrat since 1977 when I was actually a member of the 43rd, and I want to thank you for putting in the work to save our democracy. What we've done under my administration is we have created the largest care department in our police department, another public safety department, to show what a city can do when they enforce public safety with a non-badge response. That is our care department. We have in our public health response to fentanyl, we have done groundbreaking work reducing fatal overdoses by 20%. And I'd also say that given the fact we've had bargain for conditions with our police union, again, this is nationally respected work that we've done in the fentanyl and the care department space. With respect to housing and homelessness, many of you know, and I'm talking to someone who's born and raised in the city, how tough this challenge could be. But under our administration, we have spent over $1 billion toward this issue. We passed one of the most aggressive levies we possibly could. You look at our Office of Housing portfolio, we've increased it by 27%. This is very tough work, and I love to sit on the sidelines and critique, but a lot of the things that one of my competitors, Ms. Wilson, just talked about, I was on the council doing that work, passing this legislation. With respect to climate change, our building emissions performance standard is nationally recognized. Over the objections of the chamber and the business community, we're still fighting for climate change. Again, our affordable housing investments are unprecedented in what we're trying to do to fight for the city. And last, I'll talk about our educational policies, again, are unprecedented, creating more childcare and more pre-K spots than we've ever had in our history. This is very tough work, and I would ask you who is best positioned to fight against the Trump administration. I've been doing this work for 16 years, and I humbly ask for your endorsement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Harrell. Next, we have Rye Armstrong.
Thanks everyone for your time tonight. I think you can hear me okay. Yes? Perfect. Yep. It's an honor to be with you. I'm glad to be with family here on the 43rd. I was proud to serve on the executive board last year doing membership, and it's good to be with family tonight. I'm proud to be endorsed by national organizations like Run for Something, LPAC, and the LGBTQ Victory Fund, and I sit here as a third-generation rank-and-file Seattle native. I am an elected national councilor for my union, representing 50,000 members nationwide, and I follow in the footsteps of my grandmother, Luella Armstrong, who was one of the first woman engineers to work at Boeing. Her legacy is the kind of trailblazing I want to leave on the world, unapologetic and unafraid. So as the co-executive director of Sustainable Seattle, my work in environmental justice and managing multi-million-dollar budgets will go all the way to City Hall. So let's tell it as it is. First, we must invest decisively in affordable social housing to get our neighbors a roof over their heads. And then second, I think we must innovate public safety, not to criminalize poverty, but focus on the right response for the situation. And finally, not enough people talk about expanding affordable childcare so we can ensure that parents and working families choose to work and thrive in Seattle. When elected mayor, I am ready to fight on day one, and I'm ready to give myself completely to the city, especially at a time when everyone is afraid. I've called over 5,000 voters. I've done 4,000 doors knocked myself. And the number one thing I hear is people are afraid for what the future will hold. And that will take a next generation of leadership, a new chapter, a fresh chapter for Seattle. So tonight I ask you to have real courage because real change takes that courage. And I ask for your vote among a slate of great candidates, individuals who are fighting for the future of Seattle because we believe that the Seattle future is worth fighting for. So would love to earn your vote tonight, your democracy vouchers. If you haven't used them, you can check out the website, armstrongforall.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Rye. Next up, we have Joe Malloy. Joe Malloy is here, and they could raise their... Oh, perfect. Let's get you unmuted real quick.
Great,
okay, when
thank
you're ready,
you.
Joe.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. My name is Joe Malloy. I'm running for the office of mayor. I'm a housing and disability advocate, a student of political science with a degree in public administration, and a longtime advocate against colonialism and the rise of fascism in our country. We are in crisis, and that's okay. It's okay to admit, it's okay to acknowledge, and it's certainly okay to resist. I moved to Seattle because I believe that this city is supposed to be an example, a beacon of hope in an otherwise dark time. That's what I also hope that my campaign is. 2 years ago, I learned that I had a previously undiagnosed neurological disorder. Seeking support and healthcare led to the eventual loss of my job as well as housing. And for the last 11 months, I have lived unhoused in a tent throughout our wonderful city. Here in Seattle, we deal with a parallel crisis. On the federal level, that crisis looks like a rise in fascism. In Palestine and in Gaza, that crisis looks like a genocide. And here in Seattle, that same crisis looks like homelessness. I'm not running because I am a career politician or really seeking anything like that. I'm running because I know how to address this crisis. Our platform consists of two plans: an emergency response to homelessness, including a triage service, a new caretaker team, and the commandeering of vacant buildings for the purpose of life-saving shelter. An endorsement for me by the 43rd is an acknowledgement that real systemic change needs to happen, and maybe not in this race, but when we are ready to make that change, the 43rd will be ready. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Hey, next up is Joe Malahan. Let's see. Joe, if you are here, if you could raise your hand. Joe Malahan or a representative? Joe, are you here? We're going to give you 10 more seconds. Okay, it doesn't seem that Joe is here or he sent a representative. Since we allowed for someone who did not send a representative to have a minute, if there's someone who would like to speak on behalf of Joe Malahan for a minute. If not, then we will move to the ballot. Okay, we will move to opening our ballot for Seattle Mayor. It's in the chat. Give everyone a second to vote on that. I know we had some newer people join, but hopefully they've had some time now. As we're all voting on this mayor race, is there anyone who did not get to vote in City Council Position 9 that would need some support to do so? Otherwise, we're going to close the race for City Council Position 9. Going once, twice. Okay, closing the race for City Council Position 9. In the same vein, is there... Oh, yep, Jonah.
I just wanted to have a point of order. I heard that Bruce Harrell spoke about his opponents, and so I noticed in the rules that there was a response to that. I don't know if that counts, but I did want to bring that up.
Yeah,
that's for specific negative remarks. I believe he just mentioned something that Katie Wilson had said, but I was keeping an eye out for that.
Yeah, and thank you for checking on that, Jonah. Okay, is there anyone who did not get to vote in the city attorney's race that would need some support to do so? Otherwise, we will close the ballot for the city attorney's race. Going once, going twice. Okay, closing the ballot for city attorney. Oh, wait, Sophia? Or I'm sorry, Sophie. Let's get you unmuted.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't get the invite for this meeting until just recently. I reached out to Liam, and Liam was able to add me just now, but I wasn't able to get that ballot.
Okay, we will keep the city attorney. I'm going to throw in the chat the document that has the links to all of our open ballots.
Thank you so much.
Yep, and you can use that, and I will keep city attorney open until you get a chance to vote in that. And then also, Jacob just threw in the chat the credentialing link. So, and that's also in the document I just gave. It'll say meeting credentials, please sign in. So everyone, please make sure to sign in with your credentials, and then we'll keep city attorney open for a little bit. Liam.
I have the results for City Council Position 9, if you'd like them.
Please share.
Dion Foster received 90 votes. Connor Nash received 25 votes. And Sarah Nelson received 6 votes. And none of these candidates received 3 votes. With that, Dion Foster meets the threshold required for endorsement.
Awesome. Thank you, Liam, and congratulations to Dion. Okay, City Attorney and Seattle Mayor are still open. We're now going to move on to Seattle School Board District 4. We had 3 nominees, Laura Marie Rivera, Joe Mizrahi, and Gloria M. That is the order they were nominated, so that's the order that they will speak in. We will start with Laura Marie Rivera. Laura, if you can raise your hand so we can find you, we will spotlight you.
Hi,
Laura.
can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. We can hear you.
And I was just touching the tiny buttons. Is it my time? Thank
It is
you.
your time. Go ahead.
So hi, thank you all. My name is Laura Marie Rivera, and I'm running for Seattle School Board Director 4 because our kids and their future are too important to leave in the hands of a system that's just not working. I am the proud mother of 4 Seattle Public School students, a nonprofit leader, and the only educator in this race. So I bring something our school board has just too little of, which is direct classroom experience. I've taught in overcrowded classrooms, arts and tech programs, special education, multi-language classrooms, and inclusive classrooms. I know the difference between policy that sounds good and policy that works. We've got 4 directors on the ballot this year, and this is our opportunity for change. It's critical that we fix the foundation of budget and safety. Too often, decisions are being made without truly listening to those people that are most effective, our students. Each child comes with their own unique strengths and challenges and hopes and dreams, and we must build a system that honors them all. Then we need to invest in what helps our students and our communities thrive. This means art, sports, music, dual language immersion, advanced math, hands-on technical training, special education, and student wellness, with particular care for those students furthest from educational justice. We've got the future of our society sitting in our classrooms today. They deserve more than broken promises. They deserve a system that sees them and sets them up to succeed. I have the sole endorsement of State Superintendent Chris Reichdahl. I'm endorsed by Seattle Education Association, local teachers, principals, SPS families, and community leaders from Treehouse, Impact Seattle, Washington Youth Alliance, Speak with Purpose, Seattle Council LPTSA, Seattle Special Education PTSA, LD36, LD11, King County Dems, King County Young Dems, NWPC, Women of Color in Politics, Democrats for Diversity and Inclusion. You can see more at votelaurammarie.com. And I thank you all so much for hanging in there tonight. And I would really appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Next, we have Joe Mizrahi, and I believe that Nicole, can we also spotlight Nicole? I'm going to spotlight Nicole as well. Oh, wait, add a spotlight. Haha, okay, figured it out. And let's get both of them unmuted. Okay, we'll 2 minutes begin when you're ready, Nicole.
Great. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Macri, your state representative in the legislature, and I am just so honored to introduce Joe Mizrahi. Joe has been a proven champion working with families and low-wage workers across the state. He knows what our school needs. He is a school parent with kids in Seattle schools. He understands the budget issues and what it will take to address them. That includes the know-how and relationships in the state legislature. He also understands the issues of affordability that our school families are facing. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Thank you, Representative Macri, for that very nice introduction. I'm the current school board director serving for position 4. I'm a first-generation American, child of a refugee family. I do have 3 daughters in the Seattle school district. My middle daughter is graduating from elementary school tomorrow. In my day job, I'm the secretary treasurer of UFCW 3000, the largest private sector union in Washington state. When I went for the appointment 14 months ago, it's because the members that I work with every day are really the most impacted by issues in the school district, whether that's a school closure or change to a bus route. It could really disrupt their lives. It's also their family's pathway out of poverty. Yet these workers are so often not at the table. They're not part of the conversation. So I got appointed with this proof of concept. Can I take that organizing skill? And we were able to stop the massive school closure plan. I was able to lead on fighting when the statewide governing body tried to harm trans students.
and I was able to fight for progressive revenue at a statewide level. I have the sole endorsement of Representative Macri, Representative Scott, and Senator Peterson, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, amongst others, endorsed by the 3646 LD and the King County Dems. And I'm most proud I'm endorsed by the operating engineers and the Seattle Education Association and the Seattle Building Trades. That means the people who build the buildings, clean them, serve the food, and the workers who send their kids to the school, and the educators who teach them have all endorsed me. I'd be so honored to have the 43rd LD endorsement where I've lived for the last 17 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. And then next up will be Gloria. And I see the note about some of the voting links being a little slow. Thank you for your patience. I believe, and Liam, check me on this, that if you vote using the same link, it'll count your latest vote.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, so if you're not sure if one went in, just go into the ballot again, put in your voting code, vote again, and it will count whatever your latest ballot is. Okay, with that, is Gloria here? Gloria, if you're here, if you can raise your hand. Okay, I'll give 10 more seconds to see if Gloria is here. Okay, appears that Gloria is not here. Again, since we opened it up for someone who nominated someone to speak for 1 minute, if there's someone who'd like to speak on behalf of Gloria for 1 minute. Okay, seeing no one, we will open up the ballot for School Board District 4 position. So in the chat, you should see the link in just a moment. Am I not seeing the whole chat? Oh, here we go. Okay, so District 4 for School Board. And then is there, wait, I'm gonna give everyone a second to do this. Okay, well, people are finishing that. Is there anyone who wanted to vote for city attorney that did not get the opportunity? Going once, going twice. Okay, we're gonna close the ballot for city attorney. And then is there anyone who wanted to vote for Seattle mayor who has not been able to yet? Going once, going twice. Okay, we will close the ballots for Seattle mayor as well. So Seattle city attorney and Seattle mayor are closed. And Seattle School Board District 4 is open. Okay, with that, we will move on to Seattle School Board District 5. We'll get the results on those closed elections after we do this batch of candidates. We had 5 nominees, Vivian, Janice, Landon, Julia, and Alicia. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. That is the order in which they were nominated, so that is the order in which they will speak. We will start with Vivian. Okay, thank you for raising your hand. Okay,
Thank you.
when you're ready.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Vivian Song, and I'm running for Seattle School Board in District 5. I'm a current Seattle Public School parent, finance professional, and former school board director. With the ongoing budget challenges and yet another superintendent search, I'm running to bring my expertise in finance, governance, and community engagement forward. This work is really personal for me. As a daughter of immigrants, my education began as an English as a second language student. My own hearing disability was identified by my public elementary school teacher. I know firsthand how an excellent public education transforms lives. And from my volunteer work with a refugee resettlement agency, I know the fear and uncertainty our immigrant families are facing, many who have overcome tremendous obstacles to be here. We must deliver on their hope for a better life for their kids. Together, we can ensure our budget serves all 49,000 students equitably and effectively and create a path to financial stability for the district. Simply, Seattle Public Schools cannot cut its way to excellence. We can set a vision for a diverse portfolio of programs in schools to meet all student needs, particularly in special education, advanced learning, and career and technical training. Protect student well-being amid attacks from Trump, rising gun violence, and struggles of mental health. I've earned the broad support from leaders who know what effective governance looks like, including Senator Jamie Peterson, King County Councilmember Teresa Mosqueda, Seattle Councilmember Joy Hollingsworth, current and former school board directors, and progressive organizations like One America. Those closest to our schools support my campaign. The Seattle Education Association, representing 6,000 educators, has endorsed me because they know I have and I will fight for classroom resources. I'm endorsed by the 37th and King County Democrats. I'd be honored tonight as a fellow member and PCO for the 43rd to earn your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. Next, we have Janice. Top of it, pitch spotlit. And unmuted. Okay, when you're ready, Janice.
Great. Hello, everybody. I'm Janice White, and I'm also running for school board in District 5. I want to say first that as a parent, it's a very special feeling to be nominated by your own son, even in the chat. Thank you, Jonah. I have never run for office before, and I have no interest in seeking any other office. I think the school board is a place for people who believe in public education and who care about our kids. It's not about who you know, or whether you're interested in other positions like the legislature or city council. It's about having roots in your community, knowledge of the strengths and weaknesses of the system, and a passion for making it better, especially for the kids who are often overlooked. I'm an attorney and a mom of 3 and have lived in Madrona for 27 years. Jonah and his brother and sister all attended Seattle Public Schools every year from kindergarten through 12th grade. I served on the TOPS K-8 Site Council, including as president. I've been involved in opposing more than one proposal to close schools, supporting alternative schools by helping to organize a citywide alternative schools coalition in the 2010s, and I've served on a district task force about transportation. One of my kids is autistic and had an incredibly difficult journey through the early years in SPS. He was restrained and put into isolation many times. He eloped from school and had the police called on him, and he refused to attend school, sometimes for months at a time. It took enormous effort and advocacy to get him the support and services he needed to be successful, now finished with his second year of college. But all of that work only benefited one student. I became very aware of the students who aren't able to have adults like me advocating for them, and that led to me taking on a leadership role as president of the Special Education PTSA. I've been involved in this district for close to 20 years. I'm here because I care about how we serve all the other kids, and if elected, I will work tirelessly to make sure we are putting kids first. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janice. Next, it's Landon. Awesome, there we go. Make sure you're unmuted. Get you unmuted. Okay, when you're ready, Landon.
Hi, everyone. My name is Landon Lebowski, and I am also running for the school board here in District 5. I'm running for this position because I believe in the transparency of this position and the importance it has with our students here in Seattle. In the light of transparency, during our stranger endorsement interview, 5 of the 6 candidates indicated that they would be voting for Katie Wilson, leaving Vivian Song to support Bruce Harrell. I am advocating for new, bold leadership in this position and advocating that we need to be voting someone in who is going to surround themselves with people who have a vision forward and are not looking back or just accepting the status quo. We need to be putting people into this position who understand the importance of all students. If a vote does not come to me, I am advocating that you vote for Janice White. Janice's 2 decades surrounding herself in the community and putting herself forward for this position has gone unmatched. Her dedication to all students in any role that she's doing just surpasses everything that I've ever seen in a school board race. She's been in the race I believe since March. She was the second one after me entering the race, with an unwavering commitment to really support the students here in Seattle. So I would be humbled for your support in my campaign, but I strongly urge you, if not me, to be voting for Janice White in this position. Thank you.
Thank you, Landon. Next is Julia or Julissa. Julia Sanchez. If you are here, you could raise your hand. And I believe in the endorsement packet, maybe. Full name is Julissa. Okay, I'll give it 10 more seconds if Julia is here or the representative. Okay, seeing that they're not here, we'll do a quick, if there's one. Emily, would you like to speak for a minute?
Yeah, this was just a point of order. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just a point of order, because that seemed like an ad hominem attack on another candidate just now, and I'm just wondering if they're...
We give 30 seconds for the receiving candidate to respond.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And we'll do that once we get through all the candidates. Okay, seeing no one speaking for Julia, we'll move to Alicia. Is Alicia here? Give 10 seconds for Alicia or a representative. Okay, not seeing Alicia or representative. Is there someone who'd like to speak on Alicia's behalf for 1 minute? Okay, seeing no one, we will give Vivian 30 seconds to respond. Let me put the spotlight back on. Let me change the timer and let's make sure we get you unmuted. Oop, that's 33 seconds. Let's try 30 seconds. There we go. When you're ready, Vivian.
Okay, thank you. I don't consider it necessarily ad hominem attack about my choice for mayor, but just to provide some additional information. Mayor Bruce Harrell is the very first Asian American mayor elected to Seattle, and his representation is something that is very meaningful to those of us who identify as Asian Americans and to the CID community. Mayor Harrell has also been very supportive of me in my term as a school board director, recognizing the absence of Asian representation in city office and school board. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. Okay, with that, we will open up the ballots for school board position 5. So you see that in the chat now. Give everyone a second to vote. Okay. Liam, do you have some results to share with us?
I sure do.
Excellent.
For city attorney, we've got Erica Evans receiving 70 votes, Rory O'Sullivan receiving 57 votes, Nathan Rouse receiving 39 votes, and none of these candidates receiving 5 votes. Erica Evans meets the threshold for endorsement.
Congratulations, Erica.
And then I've got Seattle Mayor as well. For Mayor, Katie Wilson received 89 votes. Bruce Harrell received 25 votes. Rye Armstrong received 21 votes. Joe Malloy received 15 votes. And Joe Mallahan received 3 votes. Katie Wilson has received 82% of votes and met the threshold for endorsement.
Thank you, and congratulations, Katie. Yes, Rob.
Because people can vote for more than one candidate, would the tally committee member please report the total number of votes cast?
Rob, do you want the total number of people who voted or the total number of votes overall?
Sorry, thank you. The total number of people who voted for the denominator.
There were, sorry, words are hard. There were 153 votes.
Thank you, Mr. Excellent and hardworking technology and tally committee leader.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary and Technology Committee Chair Emeritus.
I love the support. Okay, is there anyone who would like to vote in School Board District 4 that has not had an opportunity to vote in School Board District 4? Going once, going twice. Okay, we're going to close out School Board District 4. School Board District 5 will remain open. We're now going to move on to School Board District 7. We have Carol and Jen. Carol was nominated first, so Carol will get to speak first. Oh, perfect. Okay, let me get my timer up for you, Carol. And make sure we get you unmuted. Oh, I need to change this to 2 minutes.
Can you
Okay,
hear
when
me?
you're ready. Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. Hi, I'm Carol Rava. For 18 years, I have been a parent of children in Seattle Public Schools. My 3 children and 2 stepchildren attended schools in the South End and central areas. As a parent, I have seen firsthand how disorganization and poor decision-making at the district level negatively affects our schools and harms our students. And it's gotten worse. Families are tired of feeling like they don't have a voice at the school district's table and that their children in schools get caught in the crosshairs. I'm running for Seattle School Board because, like all parents, I want the district to work better and smarter for our schools and children. Importantly, though, I bring more than a parent's perspective. My entire professional career of more than 25 years is in education policy and communications. Addressing issues of educational access and equity has been my life's work. I studied education policy in graduate school and have worked as a grant maker, communicator, stakeholder engager, nonprofit executive, and school district leader at Seattle Public Schools. So yes, we absolutely need school district leaders who bring a parent's perspective, but we also need leaders with the relevant professional expertise to help guide an organization that has a $1.2 billion budget. I want to see the school district focus on the issues that matter most for our families and students. High quality learning options that are equitable in access and support, safety in and around schools, and welcoming inclusive learning environments. Community engagement that is timely and transparent with authentic opportunities to inform district priorities. And fiscal responsibility that aligns resources with priorities and needs and collaboratively involves labor, city, and state partners. The crisis management of the school district is affecting the quality of teaching and learning, and parents are rightly frustrated. I'm among those. We need leaders with the professional experience, though, to bring stability to the district and restore the community's confidence in Seattle schools. I'd appreciate your endorsement.
Thank you, Carol. Next up, we have Jen. Jen's right there. Let me get you spotlight. We'll get you unmuted. Okay, when you're ready, Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen LaValle. I'm a member of the 37th, a working parent, and I have 2 kids at Dunlap Elementary in Rainier Beach. About 2 years ago, my kids' school was impacted, losing about 1/6 of their teachers. We got no answers from the district as to what was going on or why teachers had been removed 6 weeks into the school year. I started trying to look at the data and try to get answers, as well as partnering with parents from across the city to start becoming activists to try to push the district to talk with us and communicate openly. We then were able to push back against unpopular mass closures of 20 plus schools in the district and helped lead the campaign to do that, as well as brought over 400 kids down to Olympia to help push for additional school funding in this past session. I've also been focused on looking at enrollment planning and how that's impacting Title I schools who are not getting as much staff as other schools are, to a 6.5 multiplier on that. Students deserve more. They deserve safety, and not with officers in their classrooms and in their schools, but with more additional counselors that the city had promised and then failed to deliver on. They deserve stability of their schools and of their classes. They deserve great programs that fit their needs. We all deserve a district that we can trust, with schools and programs that support the diverse needs of students and make our district a place where families choose to enroll and thrive. I would appreciate your endorsement at the 43rd. I also am endorsed by the WEA and the 37th District Democrats. I also want to take the time to thank you, as well as all of the other school board candidates that are running. This is a volunteer position, and everyone is doing a great job.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, with that, we will open up the ballot for school board position 9. Wait, 7. Sorry, school board position 7. Went back into city council mode for a second. So ballots in, link is in the chat. Okay, while we are doing that vote, is there anyone who did not get to vote in School Board District 5 that wanted to and needs any support? Last call for School Board District 5. Going once, going twice. Okay, closing School Board District 5. Liam, I'm going to hand it over to you for School District 4 results.
All right, for School District 4, let's see, with Joe Mizrahi received 68 votes. Laura Marie Rivera received 46 votes. Gloria Suella Menchaca received 2 votes. And none of these candidates received 1 vote out of a total of 125 votes cast. Joe Mizrahi meets the threshold for endorsement. And I additionally do have the results for School Director 5 if you would like them as well.
Let's go for it.
For School Director District 5, let's see. Vivian Song received 53 votes. Janice White received 52 votes. Landon Lebowski received 10 votes. Julissa Sanchez received 2 votes. Alicia Weil received 1 vote. And none of these candidates received 1 vote out of a total of 125 votes cast. With that being the case, none of these candidates meet the threshold required for endorsement.
Okay, that means we will move. So for School Board District 5, we will move to a reconsideration vote. So Liam, could you tell us which of the candidates meet the 40% threshold for the reconsideration vote?
Vivian Song and Janice White met the threshold for reconsideration.
Okay, so we're going to give Liam just a second because he has to put together a whole new ballot to do our reconsideration vote. So while he is working on that, we're going to move on to our King County executive candidates, and then we'll come back. We'll open the reconsideration vote for School Board 5 and also open it for King County executive. So we have 2 candidates who were nominated, Girmay Zahlai and Claudia Balducci. Girmay was nominated first. So he will speak first. There he is. Let me put the timer up and make sure he gets unmuted.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. When you're ready.
Hi, 43rd. I'm Girmay Zahlai. I'm the chair of the King County Council, and I'm running to be your next King County executive because I believe we can have a region of safety and opportunity for everyone. And I know what's possible here because I've lived it. When my family and I came here as refugees from Sudan when I was 3 years old, King County gave us the tools to rebuild our lives. Affordable public housing, good public schools, and a social safety net. Those opportunities helped me go from low-income public housing and homelessness in South Seattle to graduating from law school, working at the Obama White House, starting my own youth nonprofit, and even representing my community as chair of the county council today. But I'm running for executive because my story is no longer possible. Not only has Donald Trump banned refugees from countries like the one I came from, his administration is actively gutting the very safety nets that gave my family a chance. Also, even before he came, the cost of living here is astronomical, and we have a massive shortage of affordable housing. We need leadership now more than ever that is reflective of those most impacted, and we need strong partnerships with frontline communities to deliver progressive change. That's what I've done as a member of the King County Council. I've partnered with Black communities to bring transformative investments in Skyway, with trans leaders to build permanent supportive housing in Capitol Hill, specifically for trans and non-binary unhoused neighbors, with tenant groups to strengthen tenant protections in unincorporated King County, and with low-wage workers to raise the minimum wage to the highest in the whole country. I've also co-designed with frontline communities to advance gun violence, crisis care centers, eviction prevention laws, and much more. As executive, I'll bring that same collaboration to tackle homelessness with urgency, expand public transit, and make sure we shield our values from the Trump administration. I'm endorsed by more unions, tribes, and LDs than any other candidate. Also, more Democratic elected officials, including Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, your leaders in the 43rd, Senator Jamie Peterson and Representative Sean Scott, your city council member, Alexis Mercedes Rink, and sole endorsements from leading organizations like Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then next up we have Claudia. And Claudia, if you're here, if you could raise your hand so we can, oh, there we go.
You cannot see me, huh?
Oh, we cannot see you. We can hear you though.
I wonder why. Let me just check my video for a quick second, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, it's only one option on this. So I don't know what's happening.
The joys of technology.
Yeah. Well, you might just need to listen to me tonight and not see my face. So why don't I turn it off so you can at least see my picture? Hi, there I am.
Hey, just sorry to interrupt, Claudia. Make sure that if you have one of those camera protectors in front of your camera, that
Yeah.
that's switched over, because half the time that's the issue.
That is good advice. I do not have one of those. And
All
it was working earlier today, but not right now. Thank you for trying to help. It says video background loading. Maybe the background is causing a problem. Give me one more moment. No. Okay. Picture it is. Let me know when to start and I'll just speak. I apologize, you all. Never happened before.
No worries. And whenever you're ready.
Thanks so much. I'm Claudia Balducci, and I'm a county council member, a longtime public servant, and a mom of a senior graduating from public school tomorrow. I'm running for county executive because I want to make our county a place where all people can thrive, especially now when our values are under direct attack. I've been fighting for progressive values on the East Side for over 20 years. In that experience, I learned how to organize, build coalitions, and shift politics to make change. And we need our government to do just this today, drive change. I know I can do it because I've been doing it. In Bellevue, I fought conservative business interests to get light rail built. I fought to create our very first emergency homeless shelters over significant opposition. And by the way, thank you for considering supporting the crisis care center in your district. It's really powerful when neighbors stand up and say yes. As a King County Council member, I've built broad coalitions to dramatically expand affordable housing. I've launched programs to support racial and social justice, education, behavioral health, and arts and culture, major investments in things that build a healthy community, like the Orion Center in your neighborhood, which I helped to fund. And I strongly stand with and for our LGBTQ plus neighbors, immigrants, and people of color, and always will, no matter what the Trump administration may throw at us. As county executive, I will fight for these priorities and deliver on housing, transit, equity, and opportunity. I've earned endorsements from labor unions representing childcare workers, transit operators, public defenders, and more, transportation advocates like T4WA and Seattle Subway, leaders in providing housing and services for survivors of domestic violence and people in homelessness, a long list of Democratic endorsers, including elected officials at all levels of government, KC Dems, Democrats for Equity and Inclusion, and a growing list of legislative districts. I would be so honored to earn your endorsement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claudia. Okay. And with that, we will open up our ballots. So we're going to have two ballots that are going to go into the chat right now. The first one is going to be for King County Executive, so the two candidates that we just heard from. And then the second ballot that you're going to see is the reconsideration ballot for School Board District 5. And you'll note that there's only two candidates on the ballot for School Board District 5. Those are the two candidates that reached the 40% threshold to be considered on a reconsideration ballot. So give everyone a moment to vote in both of those. Okay, and while you are voting in both of those, checking in if there's anyone who did not get to vote in School Board District 7 that needs any support to do so. Otherwise, we will close the ballot for District 7. Going once, going twice. Okay, we will close the ballot for School Board District 7. Okay, next, so as you all are voting for County Executive and School Board District 5, the reconsideration, our next thing on the endorsement list is the King County Parks Levy. So we are now moving away from candidates and towards levies and propositions. As a reminder, how this will work is there will be one statement for and one statement against. If there's anyone who wants to speak against, each statement will be 2 minutes in length, and then we will vote on whether to either endorse or not endorse this levy and this proposition. So first up is the King County's Parks Levy. I believe that someone is here to speak on the Parks Levy to us. If you can raise your hand. Anyone from the Parks Levy? I believe that there was someone who was going to come, but maybe something came up for them. Okay. Well, while we're checking on that, is there anyone who wants to speak against the King County Parks Levy? Oh, he's waving his hand. Doug. Doug, where are you? We're gonna find you, Doug. There we go. Okay, excellent. Okay, let me put my timer up and make sure you get unmuted.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. My name is Doug Hodson. I'm here to speak in support of the King County Parks Levy. Since 2004, King County Parks, trails, and open spaces have relied on a voter-approved levy to stay clean, safe, and open. The Parks Levy is up for renewal every 6 years, is more than maintenance. It's a commitment to public health, climate resilience, and thriving communities. This levy will protect our special places, including permanently safeguarding thousands of acres of forests, parks, waterways, and wildlife habitat. These open spaces aren't just beautiful, they're essential to our environmental and community health. It will also help improve and maintain over 250 parks and facilities across King County that will receive critical funding. We'll help with things like restroom updates, safety improvements, ADA accessibility, and more park rangers to help keep our parks clean and secure. These enhancements ensure our parks remain inclusive, welcoming, and functional for everyone. The levy also supports our regional trail system, key for both recreation and non-motorized sustainable transportation. It will help complete the East Rail project, close trail gaps, and improve accessibility, parking, and restrooms on trails that are overused and under-maintained. These investments help connect neighborhoods, reduce car dependency, and improve community health. The levy also funds youth sports, playgrounds, outdoor recreation, and programs at the Seattle Aquarium, the Woodland Park Zoo, and the Seattle Pacific Science Center. Helps keep our regional pools open, giving kids more opportunities to be active. These programs provide lifelong benefits, especially for families without easy access to nature. It's a small investment with a big impact. The proposed increase is modest, about $2.50 more per month for the average homeowner, and is a renewal of the levy that voters have consistently supported in various forms for more than 20 years. King County Parks Levy is a small individual investment with big impact supporting health, equity, climate, and community connection. With your support, we can continue preserving these vital spaces and expanding opportunities for everyone to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Okay, is there anyone who would like to speak against the King County Parks Levy? Going once, going twice. Okay, seeing that no one spoke against it, I would entertain a motion for us to approve the King County or endorse the King County Parks Levy by unanimous consent.
So moved.
So moved. I see a second from Justin. Is there anyone who's opposed to endorsing the King County Parks Levy through unanimous consent? Any objections? Any objections? Okay, then through unanimous consent, we approve the King County Parks Levy. Let there be money for parks. Next, okay, real quick, checking in on our two ballots that we had going on. Is there anyone who has not yet gotten to vote for either King County Executive or the School Board District 5 reconsideration? Going once, going twice. Okay, we will close both of those ballots. Liam, do we have results from our District 7?
We sure do.
Excellent.
Let's see. For Seattle School Board District 7, Jen LaValle received 42 votes. Carol Rava received 31 votes. None of these candidates received 5 votes. Jen LaValle meets the threshold for endorsement.
Congratulations, Jen.
What were the total number of votes?
Apologies. Out of 100 votes cast.
And then do you have results for those two races we just closed, Liam?
Yep, I've got them for those. Oh.
And then Derek, I'll get you right after those results.
All right, for King County Executive, Jeremiah Zahalai received 70 votes. Claudia Balducci received 49 votes. Jeremiah Zahalai meets the requirement for endorsement.
Congratulations, Gurmai.
And then let me get to the reconsideration one really quick.
While Liam is doing this, can we all give a round of applause for Liam for all of the work that he does to make this all happen? He is tally at 43rd Democrats, in addition to creating all of these ballots and giving us the results. Like an absolutely astounding amount of work, and none of this would happen without Liam. So huge shout out.
Thank you, Liam.
All right, so for the school board position 5, reconsideration vote, Vivian Song received 50 votes. Janice White received 44 votes. None of these candidates received 2 votes. Out of 87 non-abstention votes cast, neither candidate meets the requirement. Neither candidate meets the 60% threshold for endorsement.
Okay.
Sorry, just confirming. I believe that still applies. The 60% still.
It does.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. So we will then pick up this endorsement at our September meeting, where we will have another opportunity to endorse. Derek.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions about, am I doing the math wrong? Did I just hear the last one that Vivian, and I was going to ask this about school board 7 as well. You said Vivian got 55 votes out of 87 total possible? Or did I mishear that? Because when I do the division on that, that's 63%.
Did you count the none of
I
the
just heard 87 total. So
Gotcha.
is that Liam? Is that
50 out of 87, not 55.
50 out of, yeah, okay, cool. All right, that was that one, and then and then there was something on 7. What were the totals on school board 7?
On school board 7, Jen LaValle received 42. Carol Rava received, apologies, 31 votes, and none of these candidates received 5 votes, with 22 abstaining. So, let's see. So that is out of 78 votes.
So it's 42 out of 78 total votes.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's 50. That's 53% though, right?
That is 66% of non-abstention votes.
You're counting the abstentions in that total, or okay. That all right. Now I'm on. Okay, that's the confusion.
Gotcha. Thank you for that clarification, and thank you, Liam, for helping us understand. It is confusing with the abstentions because they count as people who voted, but they don't count for the total that we divide by to see if we get to 60%. All the fun of math. Okay, we have one final endorsement to do, which is Proposition 1 for funding our Democracy Voucher program. We will start with our speaker in favor of the Democracy Voucher proposition. If our representative could raise their hand. Waldo. We're going to find you, Waldo. Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll get you unmuted.
Thank you. I'm Waldo Ramsey, the political director for Washington CAN. I'm going to presume that you all know what democracy vouchers are. They're up for renewal. The purpose of the democracy vouchers was to mitigate the influence of outside money and increase voter participation. Over the past 10 years, we've seen just that. We've seen an increase in Black and brown voters. We've seen an increase in, kickstart their campaigns use democracy vouchers and get elected. And we've also seen a mitigation of outside influence money. It's working. If it's working, let's keep it. I'm asking for your endorsement to renew it. Thank you.
Thank you, Waldo. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the Democracy Voucher program? I'm sorry, let me rephrase. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in opposition to Proposition 1 to continue funding for the Democracy Voucher program? Going once, going twice. Okay, seeing no one and seeing that there was no speaker in opposition, I would entertain a motion to approve by unanimous consent an endorsement for Proposition 1.
So moved.
I see. Okay, I see moves in seconds. Excellent. Is there anyone who objects to approving by unanimous consent an endorsement of Proposition 1? Any objections? Any objections? Seeing none, we endorse Proposition 1, may democracy vouchers continue to fund all of the beautiful candidates. Tim.
Yes, I was just curious, what was the total vote for the county executive endorsement election? I believe, at least based on just the sole number of votes for each candidate, if there were no multiple votes cast on any ballots, I don't think it would have reached the 60% threshold.
There were 119 ballots cast, or sorry, 119 votes cast total between the two candidates.
I think he's asking, Tim, was your question how many individuals?
Yeah, and as Frederick just put in the chat, there were 106 people who voted. However, there were 119 non-abstention votes.
Okay, so in other words, the denominator was 106.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, then that explains it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Yeah, and thank you for everyone who's checking us as we go along. We know it is a little confusing. Okay, we have finished our endorsements, and we're only like 18 minutes over. So, you know, not quite the success, but we did it. We do have one final item on the agenda, so if you all can stick around for just a little bit, and hopefully this will be a quick one. We added a resolution to our agenda. I'm going to throw that resolution into the chat. For people, just to give an overview of how a resolution works, we will have someone come and share what is in the resolution. I'll do a screen share as they do so that we have an understanding of what it says. We will then open it up for questions about the resolution. From there, we will then see if there's anyone who wants to speak against it. If there are, we'll have a speaker for and a speaker against. I'm going to narrow those speeches to 1 minute each to save us some time this evening, and then we will move on to a vote. So I'm going to pass it over. So I put the resolution text in the chat, and I'm going to pass it to Sarah to walk us through what this resolution says. I saw Sarah earlier, and now I need to find them. Okay, perfect. Okay, here they are. Oh, get you unmuted.
There we go. Thanks all. Yeah, so this resolution, hopefully you've had a chance to peruse it. If folks remember back in April 2023, the King County Crisis Care Centers levy was on the ballot and passed with 56% statewide or countywide, sorry. It funds the establishment of 5 walk-in behavioral health urgent care clinics called here Crisis Care Centers. And why was that? Because prior to last year, there was nowhere where someone in the middle of a behavioral health crisis could go to receive care dedicated to behavioral health needs. And the only option available were ERs, which are often full, uncomfortable, and unsuited to people in crisis and have long wait times, which often means either not seeking care at all, or letting crisis worsen until jail or hurting yourself or others. Last year, the county acquired a Kirkland location, so there's now 1. But here in the 43rd, the county is looking at acquiring the old Polyclinic at 1145 Broadway. That's Union and Broadway. As the next location, it's already zoned and built for medical use and located close to hospitals and major transit lines. This makes it a strong choice for a location and additionally means it would open months, if not years, sooner than if the county were to look elsewhere. In the 43rd, 79% of voters supported the levy when it was on the ballot. This resolution, it's about reinforcing the support of the 43rd for swift action and a logical siting decision that would benefit residents of the 43rd who are or may be in crisis who want to seek care.
Thank you, Sarah. And just to reiterate what this is calling on, our therefores are that we support the levy. We will urge our members to contact the King County Executive, Seattle Mayor, and the Seattle City Council to express that support. We will put together a letter for everyone to make that nice and easy. And then we will also, it also calls for this resolution to be sent to those people that the messages will be going out to, and for the secretary to report back on that. So with that, we will open it up to anyone who has any questions about the resolution. So this is not statements for or against. This is just questions about what the resolution says or what it's asking us, what action it's asking of us. Okay. Seeing no questions, we will then move. Is there, so at this point we would have statements for and against, but we'll only do that if there are people who speak against this resolution. So is there anyone who would like to speak against this resolution? Anyone who'd like to speak against the resolution? Call one more time. Anyone who'd like to speak against the resolution? Okay, seeing no one, so I'm going to remove you, Sarah, then from the spotlight. So seeing that there was no one speaking against the resolution, I would entertain a motion that we pass this resolution by unanimous consent. This time it would not take an additional yeah, we don't have to go into that. Tony, is that you motioning, or do you have a question?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, do you have a question, or are you motioning to?
I was motioning.
Okay, thank you, Tony. So motioned by Tony, I see seconded by Justin. Is there anyone who opposes passing this resolution by unanimous consent? Anyone who opposes? Anyone who opposes? Okay, that might be the quickest we've ever endorsed a resolution. I love it. Excellent. So we will put together a email that is nice and easy for all of you. We've been learning how to really make it work with Action Network, so it'll go to all of the right people. So it'll be nice and easy, and we can let all of our electeds know that we support the placement of this crisis care center. Okay, we are almost at 9:30, and we aimed to be done at 9. So if there, real quick, if there's any one of the board members for the 43rd who has any necessary announcements. Okay, not seeing any. Oh yeah, Bryce.
I just wanted to say the KCD did our endorsements and it took us 6 hours. So please, a round of applause for Ryan for only going over by 24 minutes instead of 4 hours.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yes, that was a very long evening. Okay. So with that final reminder then, for people who might have missed it at the beginning, the King County Dems are marching in the Pride Parade. If anyone would like to join us, there is a link in the chat. You'll also see it in the weekly email I send out to all of you. But please join us if you'd like to march, wear all your rainbow stuff. You'll see me there. You'll see many of our electeds there. So it should be a fun time. And then also we will send out details as soon as we have things locked down for our July hybrid meeting. So we will have an in-person option and an online option. We beg your patience in advance for this hybrid experiment. We're going to do our best to make it happen. We're probably going to have some bumps along the way, but you know what? We'll roll with it. We'll learn from it, and we'll go from there. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thank you for sticking with us tonight. We really appreciate it. We had to, expand the Zoom room because we had over 150 people at one point, which is amazing. So great to see so many people excited about these races. And now that we've got some endorsements out, you can expect your favorite, some emails from us about ways to go out and knock on doors and support all of our endorsed candidates. So I hope to see many of you out there knocking doors. We'll have a couple of specific 43rd show up events for our endorsed candidates. So we hope to see you out and about. And with that, I'll call our meeting to a close. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening.